Legendary photographer Andrew Bernstein is the man behind most of the iconic images in the NBA. In 2018, Bernstein became just the second photographer ever to receive the Kurt Gowdy Award for Print Media Excellence from the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. This year is the first time in 4 decades that he will not be at the NBA Finals. And here's Andrew Bernstein right here. Of course, I mentioned that when people say, why isn't he going to be at the finals? Talk about that, because that's a huge decision.
Well, I thought 40 was a good round number, Jim. You know, There's 212 finals games in my history going back to 1982. You know, looking forward to this season last summer, I had some discussions with the NBA about scaling back, trying to build my platform, Legends of Sport. I have a lot of things going on. It's a bandwidth issue, you know, which has become kind of a buzzword. But, you know, I miss being there. I feel a little bit like a fish out of water, but it was a conscious decision, and it was something that we did together.
Okay, what comes to mind now when you think of all the finals that you've covered, because there's been so many iconic moments that are there?
Well, besides schlepping equipment from one arena to the next, the finals are just a whole nother level of what I do. You know, the players talk about it. I heard today, in fact, in the media availability, when I was listening to it on the way over, about how you just have to ratchet your game up to another level. And that's what I recall. That's what I live for. It's what I love. I love being able to kind of do what I do, but at the highest level, the highest stage.
And because you can do what you do with great efficiency, you've got to know not a little, you've got to know a lot about the game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it comes with experience. You know, I've earned that position. You know, you just talked about Sean McVay, talking about Aaron Donald. And,
sure.
And, you know, yes, you know, I've performed over these years, and I've produced a lot of great photography, but I also feel like I've earned my position, and I'm grateful for that.
Now, the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, are back in the finals for the 6th time in 8 years. How would that impact the legacy of this Golden State dynasty if they can win it all?
Well, I think it would be amazing if they could win it all. Honestly, I think, you know, the core group of Clay, Steph, and Draymond, of course, Steve Kerr. You know, it's very rare that you talk about a dynasty and the coach is in that first sentence. You know, and Steve Kerr is in that first sentence in that conversation, because it really starts with him, you know, and Bob Myers, and of course the ownership group, Peter Guber, you know, owner of the Dodgers as well. We all know what he's capable of bringing in talent-wise. I think they should be in the conversation now as a dynasty, but I think it only solidify that.
Yeah, you got that right. That is for sure. It's tough to talk about the Celtics' history without mentioning the Lakers. What would it mean if Boston would get their 18th championship, breaking a tie with the purple and gold for the most all time?
Well, it only means that the Lakers got to go out and win it next year, right? Because it's like a horse race, you know. I mean, you know, in LA, it's tough to root for the Celtics. I try to be as impartial as possible, and I'm sure you try to be as impartial. But you know, we've seen a lot of purple and gold against the green over the years. If you're going to ask me who I'm going for, which you didn't ask me, but I think I'm going to lean towards the Warriors just for that reason.
Yeah, you got that right. Now, you spent so many years around the one and only Kobe Bryant, and you even collaborated on a book with him. When you think about Kobe's performance in the finals, what stands out?
Well, I think what stands out the most, Jim, 2 things. One is the first championship, you know, in 2000 with Shaq, and he was the young pre-Mamba back then, and you know, we didn't know there were 2 more after that. We thought there might be more, actually, but, you know, thank goodness that they did have a three-peat. And then, of course, when he won in 2009 without Shaq, and everyone, including his coach at the time, had said that, you know, that might not happen. But 2010, I think, was the pinnacle of Kobe's career. He called it his favorite championship of the 5 because it avenged the 2008 loss against the Celtics.
Absolutely amazing. Alan, come on, partner. I know you want to get in on this. Yeah.
Andy, I have 15 questions. They said just get one, Alan. Get one in. Okay, so all the iconic shots that you've taken over your career, is there one that maybe you didn't think would be as popular as it became? I'm just curious, over those 40 years, whether it's a finals appearance, whatever the case is, if there's one that kind of stands out to you.
Well, at the time, Alan, when I took the shot of Michael Jordan holding his first trophy in '91, and you've seen, I think you put it up on the screen, he's holding the trophy, he's crying his eyes out, all the emotion is coming out. He's got his dad next to him trying to console him. I mean, obviously that was an important picture in the moment. None of us knew he had 5 more that he was going to win. And none of us really knew the significance of that with his dad, who was murdered after that. And in fact, I got a call from Michael's office shortly after his dad passed away that Michael would appreciate a print, which has stayed with me forever as just one of the most amazing things. But I point to that photo because people think of us sports photographers as sort of action guys. You know, we're on the field, we're on the pitch, we're on the court, we're next to the ice and getting that action shot. But that was a real photojournalistic sort of news photographer photo. Tends to be my favorite one of all my 40 finals.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And I got to tell you this, I know you're moving on to other things, but I hope you stay involved because you not being involved is knowledge wasted.
Yeah, thanks.
You better believe it, partner. Thank you so much for everything.
I'm not going anywhere, Jim. Just scale back a little bit.
Okay, there's some money involved someplace along the line. I guarantee you that.